If you have type AB blood, here's a story you've probably never heard. The genetic variation behind it has a history stretching back millions of years, far older than our own species, older than agriculture, older than anything resembling human civilization. Not medieval Europe, not the Mongol Empire. Millions of years sitting quietly in your blood the entire time. Here's the first thing that makes AB blood genuinely strange, and it's a real contradiction sitting inside one blood type on a single donor card. Your red blood cells carry chemical markers called antigens, and type AB is the only one that carries both the A version and the B version at once, one inherited from each parent. That's exactly why AB is what's called a universal recipient for red blood cells. You can take a transfusion of type A, B, AB, or O because your plasma carries no antibodies against either marker. That sounds like the best blood type to have in an emergency, and in one sense, it is. Flip it around though, and it becomes one of the worst types to need. A B makes up only about 4% of most populations, which means if the situation runs the other way and someone needs your blood specifically, there's barely anyone around to give it. Universal recipient, rarest possible donor pool. Same blood type, two completely opposite problems depending on which side of the needle you're on. Flip it once more, and AB does something almost nobody expects. Your plasma, not your red cells, is actually the universal donor. Because it carries neither anti-A nor anti-B antibodies, AB plasma can go into anyone, regardless of their type, which is the exact opposite rule from how red cells work. Red cells and plasma run on completely opposite logic, and AB blood sits at the extreme end of both at once. Here's a story that's sometimes told about how AB got here in the first place, the kind that gets repeated in documentaries and casual conversation alike. Somewhere around 1,000 or 1,200 years ago, the popular version goes, two separate populations, one carrying type A, one carrying type B, finally met and mixed, perhaps during the sweep of the Mongol Empire across Eurasia. A child inherits both. A B enters the world for the first time. It's a tidy story, cause and effect, neatly dated. The evolutionary evidence doesn't support it, not even close. In 2012, geneticist Laure Segurel of the University of Chicago's Department of Human Genetics went looking for the real answer. Tired of the same tidy story circulating without evidence behind it. She and her colleagues, publishing in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences, compared ABO gene sequences from humans, gibbons, and Old World monkeys, asking a deceptively simple question: how old is this variation, really? Their analysis found genetic patterns inconsistent with each species independently evolving the same trait by coincidence, over and over, purely by chance. Instead, it supported something stranger, an ancient ABO polymorphism, with some alleles shared by descent across those very different lineages, maintained by natural selection for tens of millions of years. The authors described it as the only known example of this kind of trans-species inheritance in hominoids and Old World monkeys outside the immune genes of the MHC region, a genuinely rare finding in evolutionary biology. Let that sit for a second, because it's a genuinely strange thing to say about the blood running through your own body right now. That doesn't mean AB blood itself is millions of years old, to be clear, and that distinction matters. A B is simply the phenotype produced when an A allele and a B allele occur together in one person, same as it's always worked, generation after generation. What's ancient is the underlying genetic variation, not the specific combination sitting in your veins today. The full picture is also more complicated than one clean story. In 1997, researchers Kolomo Huygen, Akie Sato, and Jan Klein of the Max Planck Institute of Biology in Tübingen found that chimpanzee A and gorilla B antigens likely arose separately from each other through convergent evolution rather than shared inheritance in that particular pair of species specifically. Different primate lineages tell somewhat different evolutionary stories, depending on exactly which species you compare. What's clear across all of them, though, is that ABO variation runs extraordinarily deep, reaching millions of years into the past. So, what does having AB blood actually tell an ancestry test about where you come from after all this? A lot less than people assume. It doesn't point to the Mongol Empire. It doesn't prove any particular mixture of European and Asian ancestry, and it can't name a single lost tribe in your family tree, however satisfying that story might sound at a family gathering or in a forwarded article online. Modern ancestry analysis compares thousands of genetic markers across your entire genome, not one blood type standing in for your whole family history all by itself. Your blood type is a clue about a single biological system. It was never an ancestry passport, no matter how the story gets told. Now, for the part almost nobody sees coming, your risk of a blood clot, decades removed from any question about ancestry at all and grounded firmly in present-day clinical medicine. In 2006, researchers James O'Donnell and P. Vince Jenkins of Trinity College Dublin and St. James's Hospital confirmed something doctors had suspected for years. Non-O blood types, AB included, run roughly 25% higher levels of two clotting proteins, von Willebrand factor and factor VIII, than type O does. Higher levels of both are linked to greater risk of venous thromboembolism, clots that form in deep veins, often in the legs, and that can turn dangerous if a piece breaks off and travels to the lungs. Does that mean AB blood is dangerous? Not exactly. It's an association, not a verdict. Age, surgery, immobility, and plenty of other factors matter just as much, sometimes more. Then there's the part almost nobody expects at all, your brain, showing up in a study that started out being entirely about clotting and nothing else. In 2014, researcher Mary Cushman of the University of Vermont, using data from the REGARD study, compared 495 people who developed cognitive impairment against 587 people who hadn't, adjusting carefully for age, race, region, and sex. A B blood carried an odds ratio of 1.82 for cognitive impairment compared with type O, roughly 80% higher odds. So does having AB blood mean you're headed for memory problems? Not quite. A B participants also carried higher average factor VIII levels, which seemed to explain everything neatly at first glance. But Cushman's own team found that factor VIII mediated only about 18% of that association, and the confidence interval around that number crossed zero entirely. Statistically, factor VIII didn't explain the connection. The study found a real link. It didn't find the reason behind it. So here's the real question worth asking directly. If carrying these variants comes with genuine costs, why didn't evolution just get rid of them somewhere along the way? The likely answer is that no blood type wins everywhere, at every point across such a long stretch of history. In 2007, J. Alexandra Rowe of the University of Edinburgh found that type O offers real protection against severe malaria by reducing a dangerous clumping of infected blood cells called rosetting, a mechanism that can block blood flow through small vessels. Type O's advantage there may be exactly what keeps A and B in circulation elsewhere, because different pathogens push in different directions depending on where you live and what's circulating in that particular place at that particular time. One blood type's weakness in one disease can be another blood type's shield against something else entirely. Your blood type is one visible signal from a genetic history that began long before there were any humans around to carry it.